Hello and welcome to the natural way of life. This video is all about the pink moon cycle, also known as the waxing moon, and what it means if you have your period during a waxing moon. I'm also going to cover in this video what it means when you change cycles. So when your period aligns with a different moon cycle. So maybe one month you've been a full moon, then the next month you're menstruating on a new moon. So we will cover that. I also encourage you, if you are new to my channel, to check out my playlist on menstrual cycle videos because I've done loads and I'm sure there is loads of wisdom in there that will help you on your journey. So let's get into this pink moon cycle. Now this is inspired because yesterday evening I was having a bit of an emotional, I'm going to call it a meltdown. And the sky outside, it was evening time, and the sky was this beautiful, deep pink, deep oranges, deep reds. It was like something out of this world. It was stunning. And I sat in my room looking up at the sky, and I just sat with my emotions, and I gave myself permission to just cry and just talk to myself and let my emotions out. Now, I was, of course, premenstrual. I didn't realise my period was actually going to start last night. It was a couple of days early, which is fine. Better a bit early than a bit late. And it was deep, and that, the reason I'm sharing it, because that was my emotional release. And in order for us to let our periods literally just flow, we have to feel safe in our body, in ourselves, to just release those emotions. And emotions that come up just before your period, you know, even if it's that week or two before, those couple of days before, that is key to what it is to release and let go of. And this, what I'm going to share, does tie in with this pink moon cycle. So I personally have found, because this is a cycle I've switched to and from quite a bit, but it's been a popular cycle for me over the years. Now, I feel pink moon cycle, so the waxing moon, that is when it is building up to a full moon, it does carry a lot of mental energy. Okay, it does carry a lot of energy because it's bringing through themes of growth. It's transitional time. So it may lead to you feeling as though you're questioning yourself a lot. Maybe you have a lot of questions on yourself, on life in general. You know, it can bring through a lot of self-realization too. And that was me last night. I was sat bawling my eyes out, and I had so many thoughts running through my mind, so many questions about the world, the existence, you know, my life, what I'm here to do, what I should be doing, what is the existence of life, the afterlife. Like, I had so many questions, and I also had a lot of fear around it. So that, of course, was coming up, you know, for me to really just accept, feel into. I can't change my thoughts, my feelings, my questioning, but it was about just letting go in that moment and letting that wave of emotion out. Obviously, I will say the more intense, you know, you might feel some of these emotional shifts is building up to a full moon. So the fact that this waxing moon where I'm at literally is only a couple of days before the full moon, that's also something just to take into consideration, that it could feel a bit more intense. Now, you might get a lot of new ideas coming through and experiences during this time. I know my brain, as I just said, this pink moon brings mental energy, but I have a lot of that anyway. But yes, 100% I do relate with that so many new ideas and things are coming through. It's also a really good time for you just to think, to read, to learn, to expand your awareness, to expand your knowledge. But it's also that time to share wisdom and express your gifts. I've been doing that myself more on my channel. I've been doing more lives regularly. I've been sharing with others. And I believe that ties in with this pink moon cycle. I also would encourage you to look at when you start your period and it's during the waxing moon, look at what sign the moon is in when you begin your period. So with mine, it was last night and the moon was in Virgo. Virgo is also my rising sign, I believe. And Virgo, this is no coincidence, but Virgo does rule the digestive tract area too. And it was funny because the other day I was having pains and whatnot in my digestive tract and digestion kind of issues, I would say. And then I definitely felt like my body was due a cleanse and a clear out, which has tied in perfectly with starting my period. Now, if you also look into the energy a little bit, so with mine, the Virgo energy, there's emotions come up through to be processed through like logic and careful assessment, which was me last night, sat going through them, trying to come up with logical, I guess, explanations or reasons for some of what I was feeling. And it can't always be done through logic, but that is a Virgo trait. And it makes sense why I had so many thoughts coming up. Also, it can bring us to, you know, matters of heartache or stress. They might show up as well with overthinking, self-criticism, you know, excess worry, emotional sensitivity. It can show up as well through our routines and responsibilities. Now, again, it's of course no coincidence, a beautiful synchronicity that I think it was literally, again, 2 days before, I'd just written an article over on my Substack account, which is linked on YouTube, all about heart healing. And that was talking about, you know, broken heart chakra, healing the heart. So all these things are tying in, and it just shows why I share this is because it shows the alignment and actually when you're in flow and in tune with yourself. Now, activities and things I've found helpful, you know, like this month in particular, is yoga. I did take up yoga again. Just doing stretches every couple of days, you know, just to really help my body and help how it was feeling. Journaling is one of my favorites. I love to journal. I love to write. It's one of my ways to get things out of my mind, get them off my chest. And I encourage everyone to do it because sometimes, you know, we don't all have someone to talk to. Maybe, you know, therapy is not an option or it's not something you're comfortable with, but journaling is actually a really powerful tool because no one's judging, no one's watching. You're free to write, say, think, and express whatever it is you feel. And also, you know, if you can bring yourself to mindful walks as well, just getting out in nature a little bit. I've also found, which has really helped with like regulating my cycle too, is naturally waking up when your body calls you to. So with me, it's often like around when the sun is rising. And then, you know, I'll go to bed probably before 11, I would say, for sure. But that really helps, you know, along with eating regularly, going outside, getting exposure to sun, you know, trying to not consume as many toxins as possible. But yeah, those factors can really help. But anyone else that is on a waxing moon cycle, but also aligning with this Virgo energy too, I would just say to just be mindful because Virgo can be so critical internally, and remind yourself that imperfection is human. So stop being so goddamn hard on yourself, literally, and use these things, use these tools that have wisdom in them. So like, not just, you know, are you on a new moon, full moon, waxing, waning, but look at what sign it's falling under because that will also give you key insights to themes that are coming up. And when your cycle changes, so for example, last month, I aligned with the full moon. This month I'm with the pink moon, the waxing moon. It is completely normal to change moon cycles. Like, there is no better or worse or right or wrong. It is whatever your body is aligning with, and they will often change based on what's going on in your own life, like what's happening. You know, I've been going through loads of change physically, mentally, emotionally. over the last couple of months. So of course that's going to affect my period and when my period decides to come and which moon cycle it aligns with. So yeah, there's no right or wrong with that. So it is literally just whatever cycle you align with. But that's why it's important to watch the videos. I've done one on all the different moon cycles. I try and talk about the ones I'm most recently aligning with. But yeah, this pink one is definitely transitional time. The red moon that I was last month, yeah, my energy was a bit more outwardly focused on helping others, you know, doing for others, doing external things. This month has definitely called me more inwards, you know, matters of what's going on within. And I do feel like, yeah, there is so much change, so much more I'm learning, even questioning like my thoughts, my beliefs. It's quite deep. It's really connected as well with your spiritual growth. And I feel like that's always kind of an ongoing journey. But again, they're themes that are just more prominent in my life at the moment. So assess your own. And it's really good to keep a journal or a diary and say for 1 month you're on a waning moon cycle, then you switch to a full moon. But then look back over that like last 4 to 6 weeks, those few months, and look at like the changes that's happening in your life. Maybe there's stuff going on at home or at work, or maybe you're dealing with more internal, you know, things internally. I do feel, especially with the pink moon, that is where it's more of internal matters, like internal growth. As I say, matters of the mind, the spirit, the emotions, whereas, you know, the things like the waning moons are more when you're like releasing, transitioning, letting go of certain things. Full moon, when you're shining more bright out into the world, you have that more confidence with what you're doing, what you're sharing. And, you know, the new moons are that more of that nurturing energy, whether that be for yourself, your family, a project, a business. So listen to them all and see what aligns for you. But remember, there's a lot of information out there. It doesn't make it accurate. It doesn't make it right. So most importantly, tune into your body, see what feels right for you. And remember that changes are good. You know, you're not going to stay on the same cycle throughout your life. You're going to change because it's natural. The weather changes, nature changes. And so do we. Just like seasonal changes, you go through them in life. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I would love to hear from you if this resonates and if you are aligning with the pink moon cycle, aka the waxing moon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Lots of love.